everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to do a video on drugstore tutorials. So as you've maybe noticed within all my videos, I normally don't use all drugstore products. I have a few products like here and there, but not all drugstore. So today I'm going to do a tutorial on all drugstore. I have all the products laid out in front of me. The only thing I'm not going to use that's drugstore is makeup brushes. As I mentioned before, I really like my brush set brushes. So you can order them online. I will use a few of those, a few others. But again, brushes won't be my main focus of drugstore. The makeup will be. So let's jump in and get started. So first I'm going to start with the Baby Skin. This is a Maybelline primer. It is similar to like Benefit's Porefessional. It really just fills in my pores. It's very silicone-y and clear. So it isn't something crazy different, but it's a little bit oily. So I did do a silica one because I do want to fill in my pores, but there is lots of other primers from the drugstore like illuminating, that kind of thing, but this one is the Maybelline. And more so just focus it in my T-zone area. That's where I have difficulties keeping my makeup on, as well as that's where I have the larger pores. So I am going to start with my eyes today. I do not have an eyeshadow base that is like an eyeshadow primer that's from the drugstore. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of the concealer. This is the Maybelline Master Conceal. I'm just going to put a little bit of that on my eyelids so that it cancels out any darkness. And then I can set it with a neutral color as well. I know that people really like drugstore products just because they're super affordable and easy to find. So that's why I'm doing this video. I found that most of my products are like expensive or from Sephora when not everyone can afford Sephora or wants to spend that much money on Sephora products. So it just cancels out a little bit of the blue veins on my eyes. So next I'm going to go in with, this is called Meet Matte Nudes. This is by The Balm Cosmetics. I'm just going to go in with the white shade in the far corner and just put that all over my lids just to make sure that that concealer set on my eyes. So most of the eye brushes that I do use are my brush set, so that really affordable brush set that you can purchase online, just because they work for my sensitive skin. So this is just a white. I'm putting a base all over. So next I'm going to go in with, I'm going to use this one. It's satin. It's called Melon. It's by Revlon. Just a little single eyeshadow. I'm going to do a little bit of that in my crease. Just going to go in with the Smashbox crease blending brush and just put a little bit of that in there because I'm going to go for more of the pinky tones opposed to the oranges. These are nice little singles. They're really creamy, but I find you have to dip your brush in a couple times to get lots of product. So they are nice though. Okay, so I'm done with that one. I'm going to go in with this one right here. So it's a pinky rosy color. You can kind of use anything that you have that's from the drugstore. There was lots of options, but I did have this palette, so I thought I might as well use it. I haven't used it much, so I thought I would put it to the test. So again, I'm putting this one in the crease with the same brush. Now on the outer edges, I'm going in with the Smashbox. This is just like a dense placement brush where you kind of place the product in. I'm going in with any darker browns. I'm going to mix these two. I'm going to put them on the outer edge and then I'll go in and blend them out. So put them kind of place them where you want that product, and then I'll blend it out. Adding a little bit more of each. Going back in with the Smashbox crease blending brush and blending those browns together. Then I have this is an essence. It's called Metal Glam. It's just a single eyeshadow. It's in chocolate jewelry, so it does have a little bit of those brown sparkles in it. So I'm just going to add a little bit of that as well. So I'm going in with the Lee Swatchy. This is a blending brush. Just adding a little bit to my brush and blending it through. With the essence, I did use the 2 brown shades on the outskirts, and then I'm going in with the essence color just to add a little bit of that gold. As you see, I'm just doing it on the outskirts of the eye. I'm not going in the inner corner just because I'm going to fill the inner corner with a different shade. So I'm just doing all the outskirts. Going back in and just blending out, making sure there's no harsh lines, and doing little circles as well as blending back and forth. So now the browns are on my eyes. So I did mention before when I did the tutorial with the Kevin Aquan, so this is it here, the little pigment eyeshadow. So I have found a dupe to it. So this one is called Trendy. It's a loose pigment by e.l.f. It's really, really nice. I'll be putting it in the inner corner of my eye. Today I do not have Fix Plus because Fix Plus is not a drugstore product, and I did not find one that worked as well as Fix Plus. So I'm just going to go ahead and pack it on the inner corner without putting a spray on it. So a spray will really make it a little bit more metallic, but if you don't have a spray, then just put it on without. So I'm just taking a little brush. I have the pigment. I just put it in the lid just because the pigments are super messy. In the inner corner that's not as dark, it really just brightens up my eyes. So I will go back in and finish my eyeliner and smoke out the bottom lash line once I'm finished my whole face, just so I don't have any fallout onto my skin. So I did previously put a moisturizer, eye cream, all that kind of stuff on about a half an hour to 45 minutes before I started my face. So then I put my primer on before I did my eyes, just so everything's soaked in, moisturized, and ready to go. So I am going in with the Lumi Cushions, the new L'Oreal foundation. This one is called N2, the lightest that they have. So it could be like one shade too dark, but this is the lightest that they offer, and I really wanted to try it out. So it does have like this little cushion here that you can use. I wouldn't recommend that. You're probably not going to get a really good coverage and even skin tone with using that. So I'm going to go in with the Real Techniques, the blending sponge. So it is a cushion foundation full of just product in here. So I'm just going to dip my foundation sponge right into that product. It's a nice color. It's a nice coverage too, because I am a little bit broken out, so it really covers well. Yeah, it goes on really nicely. It's like wet. It's a pretty wet foundation. I would say make sure you use a primer with this foundation, just because if you don't, it's going to emphasize all those areas that you don't want emphasized. Like I don't like my pores emphasized, and it's really showing up in those even though I have a primer on. But it's very dewy, so if you're an oily skin type, I probably wouldn't recommend this. But if you're normal, dry, then this is a good foundation because it looks very dewy. It's a nice foundation. It goes on well. I know like a couple months ago Lancome made a cushion foundation, and I believe they are like the same company, Lancome and L'Oreal. So it's probably very similar to that. I didn't purchase that because I believe it was like $50 or $60, but this one's $24.99 here, so a little bit more affordable definitely. I think I have a lot of product on my sponge, and I just keep dipping it in. I think a little bit goes a long way, and I'm not used to that, especially with the drugstore foundation. So I'm not going to go right under my eyes because I am going to go in with a concealer. So as you can see, it's very dewy and oily. So it is quite like runny and oily. So it looks pretty, but this is a foundation that you need. Like, emphasize need to set with a powder. If you do not set something like this with a powder, there's no way it's going to stay all day. So make sure you're setting this with a powder, but so far so good. I really, really like this. So make sure whenever I do a little tutorial or try a new product, I will put down below if I like the product by the end of the night, if it came off well, if it lasted all day, just because normally I don't take my camera anywhere with me. So if you guys want an update on how the foundation stayed, it will be in the description box below with all the products that I do mention. So this is a Maybelline. This one is, what's it called? Eraser, Dark Circle Eraser. This is the treatment one. So this is the pink tone. So meaning it's going to cancel out any of that darkness. But I'm still going to put a concealer on top. This is more of just like a cancellation color. And then I'm going to put my concealer on top of that so I can blend the two together. So I'm just using my ring finger, putting a little bit of the same Maybelline conceal or Master Conceal on and just doing that under my eyes. It's a little bit yellow, but I've never had good luck with concealers in drugstore. I know I have like a Lumi one and a couple others, but I've never had really good luck. So I'm using the opposite end of the Real Techniques blending sponge. So I use this end for my foundation, and I'm using this one for my concealer. So like I said, this foundation, you need to set it with a powder. So I'm going to go in with the high definition. This is the e.l.f. powder. Brand new to me. So we'll see how I like this guy. Like my normal translucent powder I think is like $50, and this one was $7. So really different price range. So we'll see if this one works well. So always with my powders, I like take the lid and I dump it if it's like a loose powder. This one really comes out fast. I'm not using drugstore brushes, so I'm going in with my tried and true Cover FX powder brush, and I'm just dipping it into the lid and tapping off the excess. It's like moving my foundation. Don't know. Let's see. So I'm tapping it onto my skin instead of rubbing it, just to make sure nothing moves. I normally do that anyways, but it's very strange. Yeah, it's really moving my foundation. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, so I'll keep using it. And I'm also not a hairy person, but it's emphasizing every little hair on my face. Interesting. This is really weird. Okay, I don't know if I can finish using that because it's wrecking my whole face, so give me one sec. So I guess this is sometimes why you spend a little bit more on powders or something, because you can kind of see there in a white translucent powder, you can see the color of my foundation, meaning that it took it off, which is weird. So I'm going to go in with my Laura Mercier just so I can finish up this look and it doesn't wreck the entire look. So I'm going to wipe off this brush. Ay, ay, ay. I'm not even going to use that one. I'll use a different one. I'm going to go in with the Laura Mercier one and just set that normally. So this one's like thicker and not as grainy, so then it actually sets it. So it's not sticking to my foundation, it's setting it. So that powder is a no, if no one understood. Do not go get the e.l.f. High Definition setting powder because it does not work. So I set my face. It is a little bit screwed up still, but we'll keep on going to see if we can fix it up here. So I'm going to go in with the NYX. This is the NYX contour palette. I'm going to do a little bit of contouring, a little bit of shading. I'm not going to go too crazy, but just add a little bit of definition to the face. So I'm going to do the Kat Von D. This is the Shade and Light brush. I'm going to go in with these two colors there and tap them just to add a little bit of definition to my face. Start from your ear and go towards your mouth. So that adds a lot of definition. Going in with those same two colors again, tapping off the excess. Take a little bit of the same colors and do a little bit on the temples of my forehead just to make it look like that's where I'm sun-kissed. And blend it down so that they go in together. So I will highlight after I'm finished my bronzer, blush, and highlighter. I'll go in with the lighter shade and I'll sculpt out the bottom of the cheekbones. So I'm going to go in with the Essence. This is just a matte bronzer in Soft Tan. This again is just a brush that I purchased from like Winners, which works really well on my skin. Take a little bit of that, tap off the excess, and put a little bit of color back into my skin. Don't do too much bronzer just because I am so fair, so I don't want to look like all I'm wearing is bronzer. Okay, so I didn't add any more bronzer, I was more so just blending it out. I'm going to go in with an Essence eyeshadow. This is Sandy. Sandy Says Hello, number 77. So I'm going to use this for my highlighter. I'm also going to use it to highlight the arches of my brows, just because it's super pigmented and it's very similar to Stila Kitten. I did not find a good highlighter at the drugstore. I know L'Oreal has one, but it's so grainy and it's not very nice, so I'm just going to use this as a highlight. Put a little bit above my brow so that they all blend together. This eyeshadow again is like $2.49. So if you need a good highlighter and you don't want to spend the $50, this is a good option. Adding a lot of highlighter to my cheeks. Oh, I need a Starbucks so bad. I'm like trying not to drink as much Starbucks, but you know what? That never happens. And I need coffee. So that is definitely what I'll be doing after this makeup tutorial, going to get some Starbucks because it is a must right now. So next I'm going to go in with my blush. This is the Milani Baked Blush in Luminoso. So it's more of like a corally shade. Again, I don't find too many blushes that I like at the drugstore and that I find stay on. So my face is a little bit reacting to the brushes here. So all the redness that you see underneath is a little bit of a reaction. My face is so sensitive that when I use a brush that I normally don't use or whatever it may be, it does react. So it is a little bit itchy, but it will calm down in a minute or so. So I'm going to go back in with the NYX palette and use some of the shades on the top there. So I'm going to go in with these two. The banana, these two. So the one at the very end and then a banana shade. I'm going to use the highlight end of the brush and I'm just going to sculpt out the bottom of the cheekbones. So right there where it's a little bit red is my skin reacting to brushes right now. So it will go away, but it's more of a pain than anything. There we go. So see the difference when you sculpt it out? Okay, eyebrows now. I'm going in with the NYX Micro Eyebrow Pencil. I did tell you in my last video that I searched everywhere for these. They're my favorite. I do like them a little bit more than the Anastasia one, just because they're more of a harder eyebrow pencil, less creamy. Especially if you have a heavy hand, it really gives you more control. With the Essence eyebrow gel, and I'm going to set my eyebrows. I did do a little review on this, and I did do a this is a dupe for one of the popular ones in Sephora right now, so I will link that video down below so you can check that out. And if you're not positive what an eyebrow gel is for or how to use it, then I will link that video down below. Okay, so now I'm going to go in, I'm going to highlight my eyebrow bone. Just going to use like a little tiny brush. It doesn't really matter what kind. I'm going to go in with that white eyeshadow shade and like really just sculpt it out so it gives some shape. On the next one. Okay, and then I'm going to go back in with that Essence that Sandy Says Hello eyeshadow, so that really shiny highlight one. I'm going to put that on the brows as well. If you don't have Essence products near a drugstore near you, you can purchase them online as well. So if you see a few products, I did use quite a few Essence products that you liked, be sure to look at them online because they have a way bigger selection online than they do in most stores. I'm going to brush on my eyelashes just with a little spoolie just because they have a little bit of powder on them. So this is where you could be going in with mascara, adding your false lashes, that kind of thing. But because I do have lash extensions, I don't have to add those false lashes or mascara. I'm going to go in with the Physicians Formula, the liquid eyeliner pen. This one's the eye booster, and I'm just going to do a quick little eyeliner. NYX lip liner. This is in SPL 840 Rose. It's just like a pinky color because I am going to do a bright lip. So this one's just going to do a little bit more of a neutral lip liner. Then I'll put my bright lip on. I do think a lip liner is super important just because when you are going in with a brighter lip, or any lip color for that matter, it's super important for it to stay within those lines as well as not bleed throughout the veins of your lip. I am going in right now with a really bright lip because I do want it to be spring secretly. And this is called 740 Coral Burst. So this one is Maybelline as well. I love their lipsticks. I love the formula. It's just so creamy. Even though, because I want a little kick, that lip balm really just makes your lips a little bit more dry. Because I've been putting on lip balm religiously, and it's freezing cold here, and it's super dry, and I've been putting it on like crazy. My lips are still really, really dry, really, really tight and sore. So I'm going to try not using lip balm for a little bit and see if they can heal themselves. With that being said, this lipstick doesn't emphasize dryness. So it's great for the winter, not just this color, but any color in their selection. They do have mattes, creamies, and satins. This one's really, really nice. Again, it's 740 Coral Burst, a really good summer color, but like I said, I'm in the spring mood and I need something light in my life. So as you guys saw today, I did try all drugstore products. Most of them were the first time I did try them. I am pretty satisfied with the look. I would say that the powder did kind of screw it up just because a little bit in my chin area, just because when I put a concealer on my blemishes, then I went in with that powder, it really removed the foundation. It could be the liquid cushion foundation with that powder in general, like together. But with that being said, I do not like that powder. I probably would not use it again, just because it really removed my foundation. Everything else seems to have turned out really well, really nicely. I really like the colors of bronzer, highlighter, everything like that. That really, really worked out well. As I started the video off, I'm not normally someone who uses a lot of drugstore products, just because I do like more of the higher end. I do like that they blend a little bit better, they sit a little bit better, but there is a few wins definitely here. Like the lipstick, always going to be my favorite. A lipstick somewhere where you can save a little bit of money too, because when you eat, when you drink and that kind of thing, it comes right off anyways. The liner's always a favorite, the Physicians Formula one. NYX eyebrows, always a good one. I would like the e.l.f. pigment to be a little bit more pigmented. You shouldn't have to use like a fixative to make it a little bit pigmented, but with that being said, it did still work nicely. So this is my finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed my drugstore makeup look. If you have any requests of videos that you would like to see, be sure to leave them in the comment section, just because I'd love to read what you guys want to see. There's been lots of requests for drugstore, a little bit more affordable to buy, a little bit more accessible than something like Sephora or Holt Renfrew. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.